Hello and welcome to one and all. In this class, I'm continuing with the indicators of economic development. In the previous class, we finished some of the indicators like real national income, GNP per capita, welfare, social indicators or basic needs, and physical quality of life index. Okay, so there are some more indicators as I mentioned. So the next indicator is the sixth one. The next indicator is human development index, popularly called as the HDI. So HDI, it was included by the United Nations Development Program in its Human Development Report in 19 HDI, the Human Development Report. The United Nations incorporated this index in the United Nations Development Program in 1990. So HDI, it is a composite index which has, so these are all the three indices included in HDI. So one is the life expectancy at birth. So life expectancy at birth is the average lifespan of an individual in a country. So how do they calculate is they have given certain, based on some formula, they have given certain minimum value and the maximum value for each and every indicator. So based on this minimum and maximum value, it is identified in which category the country falls. Okay. So as far as the life expectancy at birth is concerned, the minimum value is right here. The minimum value and the for every indices, the minimum and maximum values are provided by the United Nations. So as far as the life expectancy, the minimum value is 25 years and the maximum value is 85 years. Then the second index is the education. What is the educational attainment of the people of the country? So this education, there are two concepts involved in education. The first one is the adult literacy, meaning what is the percentage of adult literacy in the country. So the norms prescribed for this adult literacy is, for minimum it is 0% and maximum automatically 100%. Automatically it indicates that all the people in the country should be literate. And the next one which is included in education attainment is the combined gross enrollment ratio. Combined gross enrollment ratio is both the adult as well as the expected years of schooling of the children in that particular country. So both put together, that is the combined gross enrollment ratio. So this also same. Minimum is 0% and maximum is 100%. And the third indicator used in Human Development Index is the real GDP per capita based on PPP. PPP is the purchasing power parity. So the meaning of purchasing power parity is, for example, a basket of goods that is costing US dollars 100. US dollars you are consuming. A citizen of US, an American, can consume a basket of goods that is going to cost him $100. The same basket of goods, how much in Indian rupees you have to pay? That is the meaning of purchasing power parity. So real GDP purchasing power parity measured in US dollars. So this is minimum value is $100. Maximum is $40,000. So based on this, a country falls in which category? For that, there is in order to number is your formula. Based on the formula, you are categorized into which category you fall, whether you are in the high human development index value, low human development index value, or on which category a country falls. So in order to find out that rank of each and every country, the formula adopted by the United Nations is, this is the formula. So human development index, that is a formula adopted, is actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value. So for each and every index, we already know what is the maximum value and minimum value. And in a particular country, what is the actual value? For example, life expectancy in India, if you say 66 years, so that way becomes the actual value. Then what is the minimum value? We know. What is the maximum value? You know, and based on that, you will arrive at a figure. So based on this figure, countries are categorized whether they are falling under the high human development index or low human development index, etc. So there is some range prescribed by the United Nations. So as per the recent one means in 2014. So as per human development report released by the United Nations that is United Nations Development Program 2014, it includes 4 categories. So the first category falls under the very high HDI, the countries which are having the very high value of human development. So this one 0.8 and above. Most of the time, all these Nordic countries, they fall under very high human development index. And next is the countries which fall under the category of high human development index range. So that is between 0.7 to 0. So this value you will get if you substitute this formula. So based on that, the countries are categorized. They are falling in high or low or medium. So 0.7 to 0.8. And the next one is the medium human development index. That is between 0.5 to 0.7. And last, low HDI, which is less than 0.5. So if a country's human development value falls below the 0.5, so that means that human development, the progress is not that much in that particular country. So this is how the countries are identified. They fall in which range, and based on that range, the ranks are given by the United Nations of all the countries falls in which category. The rank are being provided by the United Nations. So let us see where India stands. Okay. So as far as India is concerned, in 1994, India's human development value was 0.427. You know that falls under the low human development index range. And 2018, we improved 0.647, came to the medium human development index range. And 2020, 0.645, and 2000 is a recent data we are having, and 2022, 0.633. Thanks to COVID, there is a deceleration in our values of human development. So in 2020, we were 130th rank, and we slipped down to 132nd rank as of 2022. Okay, so this is how the human development is being measured. So these are all the data pertaining to India. Okay, so now this is alternative. One advantage of human development index is it is an alternative to GDP, because it is including both the income as well as the non-income indicator. GDP per capita is also being included. At the same time, the health and education. So those things are, those components are also included in the Human Development Index. So it is a supplement to GDP. But this is also having certain problems or the limitations. Some of the limitations pointed out against is this: it is giving no importance to, you can't measure what is the poverty levels in the country, you can't measure the inequalities in the country. And Amartya Sen, who the economist of India, who always uh, always he talks about the freedoms enjoyed by the people. So as per him, it is not giving any, it is not mentioning anything about the social and political or even the economic freedoms enjoyed by the people. It is not saying anything about the gender inequalities in the country. It is not saying anything about the human security. It is not saying anything about the poverty. There are so many drawbacks. Okay, so some of the economy they pointed out, it is pointing out only one aspect of human development. It is, and also of the one aspect of the human development of a particular country. So you cannot find out everything. Oh, it is not a, it is also not a complete measure. So those are all the limitations. But recently, this human development is being used mostly by most of the countries as an alternative to GDP. It is a widely popular measure apart from the GDP or GNP of the country. Okay, so that is the Human Development Index. Then the next is the, sorry, I think the seventh one. So in order to correct the mainly the gender inequalities of Human Development Index, the United Nations again in 1995 included two more concepts. One is two more indices. One is the gender related development index. So this is gender related development index is same as human development index, but it is adjusted to gender. That is, what is the female life expectancy in a particular country, and what is the female literacy or educational attainment of the country, and what is the female real GDP per capita. So you are adjusting to gender. You are calculating only the female component in that particular country. So that is the gender related development index. So as I said, it is the same component of same indices of human development index, but only for female, or in other words, it includes only. So this is included by United Nations in 1995. So female life expectancy. Human Development Index generally says life expectancy. This is specifically pointing out female life expectancy. Same thing, female literacy or educational attainment, and female real GDP per capita, as usual in US dollars. So you will know what is the progress of females in any particular country. So even today, most of us know that the progress of females in majority of the countries is not as much as the males in every country. So that's why in order to know the progress of the female in a particular country, this concept was introduced by the United Nations. And then again, one more concept related to same female participation in a country introduced by United Nations is something called as the gender empowerment measure. See, it is not enough that female life expectancy is more in a country. It is not enough only if the females per capita income for female is more in a country. But to what extent the females in a particular country is given the opportunity in a country, to that also matters, isn't it? Meaning that to what extent females are participating in the political in the parliament seats, how many females in the country are working as given the higher promotions like CEOs, managers, so etc. So it is it is not only their earning capacity, whether they are actually earning that much, whether they are given that much of opportunity as their male counterparts. So that measure is required. That is the gender empowerment measure. Okay. So this is basically, as I mentioned, what is the role of female in a particular country? That is what this measure estimates. So this includes what is the, as I mentioned, different areas, different sectors of the country. The first one is what is the political participation of females in that particular country. So that is, in other words, percentage of females in parliament seats and their participation in any major decision making sector, or in participation in the major decision making roles. So to what extent that is given importance to female. So that is the first one. And the second one is the what is their economic participation. So economic participation is what is the percentage of females, the percentage of females as top officials, senior officials, CEOs, managers, and other professionals. Because most everywhere it is dominated by males in almost majority of the country. So in order to know that, that means what, females are not empowered. Even though they have the capacity, they are not given the opportunity. So they are not empowered. So in order to know what is that empowerment, these are all the indicators used. Okay. So that is the female economic participation. And then the third indicator used here is the power. What is the power over economic resources by the females? So power over economic resources, meaning what is the, this includes what is the percentage of income earned by females compared to males. See, we must knowing that even in Bollywood also, the male actors are paid more compared to the female actresses. So it is, so everywhere that discrimination persists. So in every area, even though the females might be doing the same work as a male counterpart, but the males are always paid more than the females. So that discrimination is prevalent in almost every sector in almost all the country. So in order to know that discrimination, this measurement is used. Percentage of income earned by females compared to males. So, or in other words, what is the share of female income out of the total national income compared to males in relative to the female population in a country. So this is the gender empowerment measure. Okay. Then the next indicator used is the social progress index. That is SPI. So this index is it is based on what do you say, the social and environmental needs of a citizen of the country. So, social and environmental needs of a citizen of the country. Okay. So it is giving more importance to social indicators rather than the economic indicators like the national income or per capita income. And this almost like 54 indicators are used in this category, which are grouped into three categories. So these 54 indicators, which are used to measure, they are categorized into three components. The first one, what you have is 54 indicators. So SPI, so let me clear this. So social progress index. First, you have the first group consists of basic human needs. So in the basic human needs, the indicators, what are all the requirements of basic human needs is first one, normally we say no food, clothing and shelter. So it's slightly modified. This is the basic human need. We always say food, clothing and shelter. So this is slightly modified, improved version of that. So the first one is nutrition and basic medical care. That is how much percentage of the population in a country they are having the access to proper nutritional food intake as well as the basic medical care. So if they are not having that, the majority of the population are not having that basic needs accessibility, then that country is not developed. That is the meaning here. Then the second one is the what is the accessibility to. These are all the basic needs of a person, isn't it? Water and sanitation. Third one, shelter. And fourth, this is the recently used measure, personal safety. I think everyone can understand what is the importance of this personal safety, which is diminishing largely nowadays. So that's why this indicator is also used. Okay. Then the next category, next group is foundation. This is the first one. The second group is foundation of well-being. So, okay, now you are having all these basic needs. What is that enough for a person? No, he has to progress in his life, isn't it? So that is a foundation of well-being. So what are all the requirements for him to be, for that foundation of well-being? So in order to have that, he should have the access to basic knowledge. To put it very simply, how much percentage of the population are able to study or get enrolled themselves in proper schools and colleges and get that basic knowledge. So access to basic knowledge, then access to information and communications. To what extent this accessibility is restricted in a particular country. Some countries are more free, some countries they restrict the information. So like that. So access to information and communications. The third one is the general health and wellness of the people. So generally we say, no, you are healthy. It is not that your health means what? It is not that you are, it is lack of ill health. That is not the healthy, but you on an average, generally you are a healthy person. Okay, you are living a reasonably healthy standard of life. And then again, this fourth one is again the recently included, which gaining more and more of importance, ecosystem and sustainability, because of the global warming and the environmental degradation of the environment in countries all over the world. This one is being included. So ecosystem and sustainability. So this is the foundation of, so first requirement is the basic human need. The second requirement is foundation for well-being. That means what? If all these things are there for a person, so he is having a strong foundation. Okay. Then third one is the opportunity. So it is not enough. He's having the basic human need. It is not having, he's having all the foundation. To what extent he is able to use that foundation? What are all the opportunities provided for a person in a particular country? So that is the opportunity. So in this category includes what is the personal rights, freedom of speech, personal rights provided to the citizens of the country. So you have the knowledge, you know what is right or wrong, but you are not supposed to voice your opinion, then you don't have any rights, isn't it? So what is the personal rights given to the people? And personal freedom and choice to choose your own qualification, to own your education, to your job, or whatever you want to do, whatever the personal freedom is it given to you or not? Personal freedom and choice. So if you take the communistic countries, that kind of personal freedom are not there. So that development is, it is not the developed socially, the country will not be developed. And tolerance and inclusion. So you should be broad-minded to have this tolerance and inclusion. And what is the access to advanced education? So it is not only that we always keep talking about the primary education and adults, but what extent the country is providing the opportunity to you for the advanced education, whether the best universities, colleges are available in your country, whether you are able to get the seats, so you are able to get the admissions. So what is the accessibility to the advanced education? So if you are having, then if you are having the accessibility to advanced education, automatically you are getting the opportunity to grow yourself personally, socially, professionally, economically, isn't it? So whether those kind of opportunities are provided in a particular country. So that is the social progress index. Okay. Now the next one indicator is the multi-dimensional index. Multi-dimensional poverty index. So this is an extension of human poverty index. Multi-dimensionally poor. Poverty is not giving the complete picture. Unless you are experiencing the poorness of a poor person, you will know to what extent a person is poor. Only a hungry person know the pain. So you cannot just say that, okay, this person, based on that some calorie intake, you cannot say that this person is poor, this household is poor, this much percentage of the population is poor, etc. To what extent a person is poor, so it is going more in detail, more in depth than the basic poverty data. Okay. So the multi-dimensional, in so many dimensions, in so many angles, a person or a household is considered to be poor. So that is the multi-dimensional poverty index. So this one is introduced in 2010, same by United Nations. So United Nations, they release certain Millennium development goals. So based on these goals, what are all the targets? The certain targets are fixed by the United Nations, the MDG. So based on that targets, each and every citizen in each and every country, they should have the certain standards of living. Okay, that is the target. So if those the percentage of the population or the majority of the percentage of the population in that particular country, they are not meeting this target MDG goals fixed by the United Nations, then they are considered to be poor. Okay. So multi-dimensional poverty index, to in so many angles a person is poor. So this measure, it is MPI measures the something called as deprivation. On the basis of deprivation of any facility by a particular individual or a particular household, you are calculating the poorness of a particular person. For example, if you are having the proper housing facility, if another person or another household is not having that proper housing facility, then that household is deprived of that housing facility, isn't it? So like that, there are so many basic needs. The percentage of the majority of the percentage of population in poorer countries, they are deprived of those basic needs. So based on that deprivation, to what extent multidimensionally a person or a household is poor, that is the multidimensional poverty index. Okay. So here again, basic needs are grouped into certain categories. So the first category here is health. So health, there are certain, what are all the things included in health? The first one is child mortality. So child mortality, this is a household is considered to be deprived if a child under the age of 18. So if any child in a particular household under the age of 18 has died. So this is at least 5 years before the survey. Okay, you are doing the survey in 2022. 5 years preceding the survey, within this 5 years, if any child under the age of 18 has died in a particular household, then that household is considered to be deprived. This is one area in which that particular household is deprived. So under the age of 18 has died. Okay, then nutrition. The second one included here is nutrition. So nutrition is, so in a particular household, if any adult, or a child, so the nutritional standards is diagnosed as undernourished. So it is like a medical record. So any child or any adult, the diagnostic report says that they are malnourished or undernourished. So that means what, that particular household is deprived of the proper nutritional intake of the prescribed by the United Nations. Okay, now I think you can understand what is the meaning of this deprivation. Okay, that is the first group. Then the second category is in the area of education. So in the area of education, so what is the years of schooling? So how many years of schooling? Like, so a household is considered to be deprived of that years of schooling if deprived, if no household member has completed even 6 years of schooling. Okay, so no one has completed even 6 years of schooling. That is considered as they're deprived of the years of schooling. That means they're deprived of education, they're deprived of the literacy. And next one under this category is children enrolled in school. So this is children enrolled in school. Name is it is very clear. If the number of children in the particular household, they have not even been admitted in a school, then they are deprived of that education. Okay, so both the adults, they haven't even completed 6 years of schooling, and how many children are there in the family, and how many of them are enrolled in the school, or rather how many of them are not even enrolled in even the primary level education, then they are deprived of this education. So this is how there are some more angles are also there, some more standards are also included in the multidimensional poverty index, so which I will continue in my next class. Okay, so hope you understood what is the meaning of this deprivation. Once I complete the whole thing, it will be clear to you. So in different dimensions, a particular household is deprived of that basic facility. Okay, so the remaining points I will continue in my next class. So if you find this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And please don't fail to mention your doubts or any suggestions if you have any. Okay, so until my next class, next video, take care. Bye-bye.